Mr. Carey.
Chairman Sessions and distinguished members of the subcommittee, thank you for inviting me to testify in the Department of Health and Human Services responsibilities in facilitating the resettlement of refugees in the United States. In my testimony today, I will describe the role that HHS plays in the refugee resettlement program. The Refugee Act of 1980 established the Office of Refugee Resettlement within HHS and outlined the United States' commitment to humanitarian relief through the resettlement of persons fleeing persecution on the basis of their race, religion, nationality, membership in a social group, or political opinion. Since the passage of the Act, over 3 million refugees from more than 70 countries have been provided safe haven in the United States, along with the possibility of a new beginning and freedom from persecution and displacement. The Departments of Homeland Security, State, and HHS work together to advance America's humanitarian response to refugees through the U.S. Refugee Admissions Program. In fiscal year 2014, nearly 140,000 individuals were eligible for resettlement services through ORR programs. These programs assist refugees, asylees, Cuban and Haitian entrants, victims of torture, foreign-born victims of human trafficking, and special immigrant visa holders to become employed and self-sufficient as soon as possible after their arrival. ORR carries out its mission to serve refugees through grants and services administered by state governments and nonprofit organizations and an extensive public-private partnership network. ORR grants are designed to facilitate refugees' successful transition and integration into life in the United States. Refugees arrive with distinct skills and experiences, and we strive to provide the benefits and services necessary to leverage those assets and talents. ORR funds support and transitional time-limited support for medical services for individuals not eligible for other public benefits. Through programs administered by states and nonprofit organizations, ORR provides cash and medical assistance to eligible populations for up to 8 months after their arrival in the U.S. In addition, ORR funds foster care programs for unaccompanied refugee minors, certain minors granted special immigrant juvenile status, and unaccompanied minor victims of a severe form of human trafficking. ORR provides funds to state governments and private nonprofit agencies to support social services, including English language instruction, employment services, case management, social adjustment services, and interpreter services. And these funds are allocated to states based on a formula prior to 2 years prior years of arrival, which accounts for refugees and other entrants' movements to other states after their initial resettlement as well. ORR programs also support economic development activities. These focus on financial literacy, establishing credit, match savings in support of business starts, educational goals, car purchases essential to employment, and business startups that in turn employ thousands of individuals. A portion of new entrants participate in the Voluntary Agency Matching Grant Program rather than the Refugee Cash Assistance Program. Through this program, voluntary resettlement agencies provide services to help refugees become employed and self-sufficient within their first 4 months in the U.S. In fiscal year 2014, the program served 30,000 individuals and reported economic self-sufficiency rates of 76% for refugees at 180 days after arrival. Given the proven success of the program, the President's budget proposes a $22 million increase to the 2016 matching grant program to serve an additional 10,000 individuals. Finally, I would like to share with you the story of one refugee. Rikan, 28, and his family were forced to flee their homeland in northern Iraq when the U.S. military began its withdrawal due to family members' employment with American forces and related threats to their lives. Starting over was a challenge for Rikan, as it is for all refugees. He applied for more than 100 jobs during his first 7 months in St. Louis while attending English language classes. His first job in the U.S. was working at a local grocery store. 3 years later, he has opened a car dealership. His mission is to provide fellow immigrants with affordable and reliable used cars. The business has been open for 2 years. He employs a number of other individuals. And he now is helping other refugees and individuals from the communities to buy their first cars. His determination to succeed is representative of the determination I see in so many of the refugees who arrive in our country. Despite unimaginable hardships, violence, and oppression, They arrive seeking opportunity, not handouts, an opportunity to give back to their communities, achieve the American dream. HHS's programs assist refugees and other vulnerable populations to do just that. I welcome your interest in the U.S. Refugee Resettlement Program at HHS. Thank you for the opportunity to discuss our work, and I would be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Carey. You mentioned the refugees, asylees, Cuban, Haitian special programs that also are kin to refugees, and that totals 140,000 that you have responsibility for?
Yes, sir.
And that includes 85,000 refugees?
These numbers are from 2014. In the current year, they include responsibility for 70,000 refugees.
70,000.